Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Probably Plays YouTube channel. Today is August 1st, and I'm back to break down some more MLB games for the Thursday night slate of games. It's a pretty small slate of games tonight, but we're still going to try to find a couple winners. We're going to be looking at a couple games today. We're going to start with the Baltimore Orioles going up against the Cleveland Guardians, and for the best play of the day, we're going to be looking at the Chicago Cubs going up against the St. Louis Cardinals. 4 total player props a day, as well as the 2 best player props being towards the end of the video. And I hope everybody enjoys their Thursday, and let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's get into this recap graphic from Wednesday night. I am recording a little bit early. Not early enough for me to see the Reds put up 6 runs on the Cubs put up 6 runs on the Reds. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the Reds in the first 5 will probably not win unless something miraculous happens in the 3th, 4th, and 5th inning. So I already counted that as a loss. We did take a win today with the Arizona Diamondbacks over 4.5 runs going up against the Nats. I thought they were going to score 6. With Ketel Marte maybe getting back up, but that never happened. Ketel Marte, he did hit a single in that game going up against Mackenzie Gore, but that was it. So we did lose the over 1.5 bases. Still have Spencer Steer over 1.5 bases. Game is still very early. Brent Rooker tonight over 1.5 bases. Very confident going up against Logan Webb. And then Framber Valdez going up against the Pirates under 2.5 runs has not started yet. But let's take a look at the leaderboard really quick. Only one thing has changed. I did take a loss for the Reds, or I'm accounting as a loss. Hopefully the Reds, spark a comeback in the first 5 innings, but I don't think it's going to happen. I've been watching the game, 6 runs with the Cubs, which never happens for the Chicago Cubs. Also, I think Kyle Hendricks might be spying on me because every time I talk about that guy, he goes out there and wheels and deals. And I may never bet against Kyle Hendricks again because obviously he's got a tap to my computer or to my phone and he hears me talking shit on him and then he goes out there and dominates the opposing team. So no more Kyle Hendricks. I am going to try to get a sweep though today. Not a whole lot of games to pick from, but we've got 2 really good ones. I think we're going to be looking at the Orioles going up against the Guardians. Both teams have been good this season at putting up runs, and I don't trust either arm in this game. So I'm going to take the over 9.5 run score to the play. Both of the guys on the mound have been good this season in their own way, but I think the offense for both sides is just going to be that much better than the pitching. We're going to start with the numbers for Ben Lively on the season. He's coming in with a 3.44 ERA and a 1.17 whip. He does have pretty good numbers on the year, but he has been giving up a steady amount of runs over the last 10 games, giving up 2+ runs in 8 of the last 10 games. He's also been going up against some very bad opponents over the last 10 games as well, including the Washington Nationals, the Toronto Blue Jays twice, the Marlins, the Rays, the White Sox. His only really tough matchups over the last 10 were against the Royals and the Philadelphia Phillies, and he has found some trouble in some of these games as well, giving up 3+ runs in 3 of the last 8 games, and I just think the Orioles are the best opponent he's going to be facing off over the last 10 games, so I do expect him to struggle just a little bit in this game, and I'm hoping the Orioles offense will come through for us, giving us a couple runs. Now, the other side is going to be Dean Kremer for the Orioles. He has been a little bit worse than Ben Lively on the season. He's coming in with a 4.20 ERA and a 1.23 whip, and he's just been very inconsistent over the last several games. He'll go out there, give up no runs a couple times, but more times than not, he's going to give up 3+ runs, and he's done that over the last 8 games. He's had 4 games over the last 7 that he's given up 3+ runs. He gave up 5+ runs to the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs over the last few games. Both of these teams, they're very good with the bat in their hands, and there's a reason that this total is so high. Usually we don't see games this high unless they're being played in Colorado. I think this line is telling us to take the over. I'm going to listen. Give me the over 9.5 runs as the play here. For the player prop on the screen, we're going to be looking at Jose Ramirez to go over 1.5 bases. He's been a machine over the last couple games. He's been very good all season long, but especially over the last 2 games against the Tigers. 3 home runs and 8 at-bats. He's coming into this game with a 276 batting average, and he's swinging the bat with a lot of confidence and a lot of power coming into this game. The matchup in this game will be going up against a right-handed pitcher, and while Jose Ramirez does have a much better batting average going up against left-handed pitching, he crushes right-handed pitching. He has 16 home runs and 11 doubles on the year against the right side, having 28 extra base hits in total against the right side. So I do expect him to have an extra base hit in this game going up against Dean, who has been giving up a lot of hits over the last several games. Give me his over 1.5 bases here as the play. Let's go over to the best play of the day. We are going to be looking at the Chicago Cubs going up against the St. Louis Cardinals. In this game, we have 2 pretty reliable arms that are going to be on the mound. Both of these teams on the season also rank pretty low in terms of putting up runs on the board. I'm taking the under in this game, 8.5 run score between the 2 teams. We're going to start with the Cardinals and Sonny Gray. He's going to be back on the mound after giving up 5+ runs in back-to-back games. That now makes 5 consecutive games that the ace for the Cardinals has given up 3+ runs, and they haven't really been against good teams either. Only one team is in the top 12 of batting, and that's the Atlanta Braves on this season. But while he has been struggling over the last 5 games, he's still coming into this one with a really good ERA and whip, 3.79 ERA, 1.10 whip. So he is struggling, but he has been very good on the season. It's going to be a good matchup for him going up against the Cubs, and the Cubs all season long haven't been able to hit the ball. Tonight against the Reds, it's an outlier. This team, they put up 6 runs after 2 innings. They don't even do that in an entire game most of the time. All season long, the Cubs, they've relied on the pitching. I don't expect that to change in this game. The stats, they typically don't lie. The Cubs this season, they are a bottom 5 team at hitting the ball, while Sonny Gray has been a very reliable arm in the year. I think he's going to do just fine in this game going up against the Cubs. On the other side, we have maybe an even better arm going for the Cubs. That's going to be rookie Shota Monaga. He's coming into this game with a 2.95 ERA and a 1.07 whip. He did get roughed up a little bit against the Kansas City Royals in his last start, giving up 3 runs off of 6 hits. But if you take a look at the last couple of appearances that he's been in, he's been dialed in. Against the Arizona Diamondbacks, one of the best hitting teams in baseball, he only allowed 2 hits in that game, striking out 10, allowing just 1 run. In the game prior to that, he went up against another really good team, the Baltimore Orioles. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, and he allowed no runs in that game. He's also not faced off against the Cardinals in his career, and I do think they are in for a lot of strikeouts in this game because the first time through seeing Shota for the majority of the season for most teams have not gone well. I like the under in this game, under 8.5 runs as the play here between the two teams. For the batting prop, I'm going to be looking at somebody who just got dealt to the St. Louis Cardinals, and he made a big impact in his first game. Give me Tommy Pham of the Cardinals to go over 1.5 bases going up against the Cubs. I don't think a lot of people give Tommy enough credit because he's been bouncing around the league for a while now, but he is an overall really good player. It doesn't make sense that he can't find a home. He was the best player for the White Sox this season whenever Luis Roberts was injured for the short time that he was there, and I do think he's going to be a really good fit back in the Cardinals organization. In the first game for the Cardinals, he had a grand slam on Tuesday night. This afternoon on Wednesday, and I guess for you guys, yesterday, he recorded 3 hits going up against the Rangers. He is making an immediate impact, and he's going to get a tough matchup here going up against the lefty, but he is hitting 270 on the season. Shota, he's a very good pitcher, but Tommy, he's a very good contact hitter. I think he's going to get a couple base knocks in this game. Give me the over 1.5 bases as the play there for Tommy. Let's go over to the best props of the day. For the batting prop tonight, remember we have a very small slate of games, so it was slim pickings out there. I do think I'll stumble upon a really good pick here with Salvador Perez to go over 1.5 base against the Tigers. And as everybody should know if you're a baseball fan, the Royals and the Tigers, they play each other a lot over the years being in the same division. And whenever Salvador Perez face off against the Tigers, he's got some really good numbers in his career. Since 2011 for Perez, he's hitting 277 with 28 home runs, 94 RBIs, and 168 games going up against this team. If you take a look at the last 5 appearances that he's been going up against the Tigers, he has 3 multi-hit games in those 5 appearances, so he does love to play against this team. He's going to be getting a good matchup going up against Kiter Montero for the Tigers. And I believe the last time that I gave out a player prop with this guy, they took him out of the starting rotation right before the game starts. So we are going to get another chance going up against Montero. And he is a projected start in this game because the Tigers, they finally did deal one of their best pitchers in the organization, and Tariq Skubal, maybe the best pitcher in baseball, and the rich continue to get richer. He went to the Dodgers, so the Dodgers, they continue to buy their way into losing in the first round of the playoffs. But for Salvador Perez in this game, we're going to see the changeup only 9% of the time, but we should see the slider a good amount of time, and I can see the captain, Salvador Perez, sitting back on one and sending it out of the park. I would love to see a changeup center cut in this game because that's his best pitch to hit. He's hitting at 351 of the season, but also I'm fine with him getting a slider because there's really nothing that Salvador Perez he can't handle. His numbers against everything this season are fairly good, and this is really just a rookie pitcher having to deal with Salvador Perez. He's been the best hitter on this team for nearly a decade since Bobby Witt came in. He does have a very good batting average against right-handed pitching as well this season, hitting 267, 29 extra base hits. I trust Salvador Perez with my life, especially going up against the Tigers. He might as well get that 29 extra base hits to the 30 on the year. I'm going to take him over 1.5 bases as the play here. For the pitching prop tonight, we're going to be looking at Charlie Morton of the Atlanta Braves to go under 1.5 runs allowed going up against Miami Marlins. Usually, these kinds of props come out at under 2.5 runs with the way the Miami Marlins have been playing and with the way that they handled the trade deadline. I've got to assume it's going to be under 1.5 runs. The sad truth about the Marlins right now is that they don't have a lineup that can compete with very many teams in the MLB. I saw something yesterday, I think it was on Twitter, that the payroll of the Marlins 1 through 9 hitters is less per year than what Aaron Judge is making alone. This team is going to struggle in the last half of the season. I do expect them to struggle in this game going up against the righty Charlie Morton. If you take a look at the pitches that Charlie Morton's going to be throwing in this game, we're going to see a lot of curveball, and he likes to set that up with the fastball. But mainly it's going to be the curveball. He throws that nearly 50% of the time. And look at the numbers from Miami Marlins. They have 3 players on this season who are hitting the curveball with a plus run value. Josh Bell just got traded. Tim Anderson, who I believe was cut from the team. And then Emmanuel Rivers, who I believe is still on the team, is going to be playing in this game maybe. Other than that, they have 2 total players in the starting lineup for this game that are hitting the curveball above 200. Same kind of thing applies with the fastball. They only have 3 players who are hitting a fastball at a plus run value this season against that pitch. They have a few players who like to hit that pitch, but most of them, they're hitting it below 240 on the season. This might be overall the worst hitting team in baseball on paper. The only players that I think might make an impact is Brian De La Cruz. I think he's a really good player. Jake Berger for his name alone, and then Jesus Sanchez. He's not bad. I just think this team's super young. They've got a lot of young talent probably on this team, but they're just not at the MLB level yet. So I'm going to take the veteran here, Charlie Morton, to go under 1.5 runs as the play. Let's go over to the graphic recap. We're going to be taking the Orioles and the Guardians over 9.5 runs as the play there. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases going up against the O's. Tommy Pham over 1.5 bases back with the Cardinals against the Cubs. Cubs and Cardinals under 8.5 runs. Salvador Perez, the captain, over 1.5 base against the Tigers. And then Charlie Morton under 1.5 runs going up against the Miami Marlins there. Guys, that's going to do it for the MLB picks and props for Thursday, August 1st slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like in this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.